Good day to you. Welcome to another biology class. Today we'll be discussing on nutrition. On nutrition. Yeah. Previously we have discussed about the characteristics of a living things, and one of the characteristics of a living thing is nutrition. Because the ability of a plant and animal to feed is called nutrition. The ability of plants and animal to feed is what is nutrition. Yes, the ability of a plant and animal to feed is what is nutrition. Why both plant and animal requires what? Food for the use of energy. They get the sources of their food from different ways. Why some organisms are autotroph, others are heterotroph. Some organisms are what? Are autotroph, while others are what? Are heterotroph. But plants and animal, plants, they are autotroph in nature. Animal are heterotroph. They are both organisms. But what? Plants are what? Autotroph in nature, while animals are heterotroph in nature. What is now autotroph? An autotroph can be defined as what? Ability of a plant to produce their own food. The ability of a plant to produce their own food is called the autotroph. Why the what? Heterotroph is what? Ability of animal to depend on plants, or to depend on feed. Let me put feed. To feed on plant or on another animal. Yes, heterotroph is what? The ability to depend to feed on plants or on another animal. That is why they are called heterotroph. Good. Let's now proceed by taking the what? The plant nutrition for today. Plant nutrition. Now let us now take plant nutrition. What is plant nutrition? The what? Plant nutrition is what? Is ability to produce their own food using what? Using photosynthesis. The ability of a plant to produce their own food using what? Using photosynthesis. So what is now photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is what? Ability of a green plant to produce their own food using carbon dioxide, CO2, sunlight, and H2O in the presence of chlorophyll. Yes, photosynthesis is the ability of a green plant. Once we say a green plant, we are expected such a green plant to have a chlorophyll. Because this is the chlorophyll that will attract the sunlight. To produce their own food or manufacture their own food. Because it is expected of a plant to feed as well, but they have to feed through photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis is what? Ability of a plant, of a green plant, not ordinary plant, of a green plant to produce or manufacture their own food using what? 3 things: carbon dioxide, sunlight, and H2O, which is water. Right? Now, let us now. Before I proceed, there are 2 stages of what? 2 stages or reaction of producing food in plants. Right? 1, light reaction. 2, dark reaction. These are the 2 reactions that usually occur in plants to produce their own food. It's either they produce their food in light reaction or in dark reaction. What is now light reaction? What is dark reaction? Light reaction. Now come back to this. They make use of what? 3 things. 1, CO2. Right? Secondly, they make use of what? Water. Right? And sunlight. And this is chlorophyll. This is sunlight. Let's assume this is the sunlight. The sunlight is being trapped by the chlorophyll. Now they give us the what? This is the reactant side. Now they give us this, which is the product side. Right? Now after this, they give us this 6 A6 O6 plus O2 gas. Right? Yes. But our equation has not been balanced. This is 6 A6 O6 and what? O2. Right? And here we have a single 6. Right? Here we have 3 what? We have 2 H, which is what? Which is hydrogen. We have 6 carbon here, 6 hydrogen here, and what? 8 oxygen. 6 plus 2, 8. But in the reactant side, we have what? 1 carbon and what? 1 molecules of what? Water. But we have what? 1 hydrogen here, right? 1 oxygen. Okay. To make it balance, what is now the reaction? Let's put 6 over here. Okay. Now we have 6 here, right? 6 carbon, right? 2 times what? 2 times 6, 12, right? Okay. This is what? 12 oxygen plus 1, 13, right? Let's go to this place. We have 6 carbon now. we haven't have what? Oxygen, hydrogen rather. Let's say this is hydrogen, 3, right? Now we have 6 carbon, right? 3 hydrogen, 6 hydrogen, 2 times 3 is 6 hydrogen, right? Here we have 2, 6 rather, and what? 2, making what? Making 8. Here we have what? Here we have what? We have 2 here, right? 2 times 6, 12, right? Plus 3 hydrogen, making 15. Now let's come back to this one. We have here 6 ordinary 6 ordinary hydrogen and what? So that means that we can have plus what? Plus H2O. Do you get it? Now let's come back. 6 hydrogen here, 6 times 3, 12, right? Hey, sorry, there shouldn't be water here. So 6 here, right? How many hydrogen we have here? Oh yeah, let's change this because it is a balance of equation. You have to balance it by all means. 6 is, this wants to be, sorry, this wants to be H12, not H6, so H12O6. That is the formula for glucose. 6 is H12O6. Now we have what? Let's change this to what? 6. Okay, 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, right? Oxygen, right? 6 here, 2 here, making 8. Abi, 6 here, 2 here, making 8. 6 here and 2 here, making 8. So that means our what? Our equation is balanced. 6 is H12O6, which is what? Glucose. So this is now what the light reaction gave us, and this light reaction occurs in the presence of sunlight. In the day, let me say in the daylight, in a broad daylight, light reaction occurs in a broad daylight. That's what? That's the light reaction. There's what? There's carbon dioxide, water, and to give us the what? Glucose and oxygen. Now, this oxygen, the oxygen that is being given to us is the byproduct. What do we mean by byproduct? The unuseful substances or unuseful elements that comes out of the reaction from the what? From carbon dioxide and oxygen, which give us the what? The product size of oxygen, which is the byproduct that is not useful for the plants. But note that this oxygen that is not useful for the plant is the main sources of respiration for human being. While oxygen is the byproduct for what? For what? For plants. It is the main sources of what? Respiration for the animal. And note that what? That the byproduct of plants is the sources of respiration in animal, right? Why also the byproduct of the respiration in animal is the source for food production in plants. After a complete reduction from the what? From the plants, which give us the byproduct of the what? O2. The byproduct of O2. This is now what will be exhaled out from the plant. But this same oxygen is the one that an animal, higher animal or lower animal, will inhale to do the respiration. To do respiration, right? The ability to what? To exchange gases. Which gases are we exchanging? We are exchanging gases with what? Within the CO2 and O2. While animal respire CO2, right? We as a human being, we are trying to what? To exhale the CO2, the carbon dioxide that is no good, and this carbon dioxide will be the what? To come into reaction for plants, and plants also will try to exhale the O2, and this is what human being will try to what? Inhale. This is our own substance, our own element that we are inhaling so as to do respiration, and the moment we are doing respiration, we try to exhale this CO2 again and inhale. So the continuation of this within the what? Within the photosynthesis and respiration, there is a reaction between them. The animal are producing CO2 while the animal are using CO2, while the animal are producing CO2 rather, while the plants are making use of the CO2, and the plants are producing oxygen while the animal are making use of that oxygen. That is the reaction between the photosynthesis and and the respiration. Animal is doing photosynthesis, plant is doing photosynthesis, animal is doing respiration, and they are making it a balanced equation between each of them. Now let's proceed. Okay, now in the continuation of light reaction. Okay, let us assume how it occurs. Let me take a little bit of diagram. Right? Okay. What actually occurs in what? In light reaction. You know, we said our reaction takes place in the broad daylight between what? 6 CO2 plus what? 6 H2O and what? Which is chlorophyll here, right? To give us what? 6 H12 06 plus what? O2 gas, right? And we have said these are what? Sunlight that is being trapped by what? By the chlorophyll. Now, how does it occur? It's not just that it occurs straightforward like this. Now, the first thing is that there is water, right? This is the first thing that occurs. Immediately a plant wants to start the photosynthesis. This is actually what occurs in the photosynthesis. Now, you have reaction like this, right? This is what? The sunlight that is being trapped by the chlorophyll, right? After this, there is a reaction, and this reaction breaks the water into two, right? The hydrogen ion plus hydrogen ion, right? This is the breaking down of water, Abi, right? Good. So in this, what occurs is that OH, right, plus another O plus another oxygen, right, plus another oxygen is now come into like something like this. Okay, they come here. There's this one will also be useful, but before this one useful, what occurs is that this breaking out of water, we call it what? Photolysis. Water photolysis. The The photolysis meaning that what the ability to break down of water using sunlight is called water photolysis, right? Now we have broken down the water into hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. This hydroxyl ion now comes into reaction like this, 4OH, right? 4OH, which now gives us what? 2H2O plus O2, right? 2H2O plus O2. I hope you understand this. This is our 4 oxygen, 4 hydrogen, right? 2 times 2, 4. 2 oxygen plus here 2 oxygen here, 2 oxygen here, making 4. So that's now the breaking down of it, right? Okay, good. After that, here there's coenzymes. These coenzymes, mostly of the time, they are what? NADP, right? What do we call this NADP? Nicotine adenine dinucleotide. Nicotine adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Nicotine adenine dinucleotide phosphate. These coenzymes will be the one to react with what? The CO2. Already the oxygen has come out, right? The water has come out. Again, you know we have already broken the water into what? The hydrogen ion and the hydrogen ion, which is this, and the hydroxyl ion, which is this. Now the hydroxyl ion react again. It has to react again to give us this. For hydroxyl ion. 4 hydroxyl ion now give us this, a smaller one, which is what? 2H2O plus O2, right? This now, this now 2H2O now reacts with this. You know, we are still coming back. You know, this reaction and this is this back, and we are having this, which is this, right? But this reaction was the one that produced this. I don't know, probably you are getting it. From here, you have already gotten that after the photolysis of water, the ability of a sunlight to break water into hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. The hydroxyl ion now reacts again. To give us what? To give us 4H2O. When it reacts with this, it now gives us 4H2O, right? To give us this. This now water come to react with what? This. But in the presence of a what? Of a coenzyme. Which coenzyme? Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, right? After this reaction, is now giving us this, which is what? 6,6H12O6, right? And this, which is outside the what? Outside this. But don't be forget that this reaction has not been complete, because what about you have using the parts of the what? Parts of this. What about the part of this? Now this part of this now come into play with this. NADPH. You know, this is what? This is hydrogen. The hydrogen come into reaction with this. Now it now give for NADPH. And this NADPH now give us what? ATP. The energy that you usually get in this plus ATP. Yes, we usually get that energy. So in short, is that what? The reaction comes from what? From the photolysis of water, give us the hydrogen ion and the hydroxyl ion. The hydroxyl ion now give us a complex ion, which is what? 4 hydroxyl ion. The 4 hydroxyl ion now breaks down again into 2H2O plus O2 gas. This 2H2O now come into reaction with what? With CO2. This is it. And after this is it, it gives us what? 6,6H2O6, which is the glucose rather. After the glucose has been formed, now it now come back. But don't forget that what? This reaction cannot be completed except in the process of the what? NADP, nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. Now the hydrogen now reacts with what? The nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate to give us the what? The ATP, which is what? Adenine which is adenine triphosphates. Adenine triphosphate, and this is what actually occur in the what? In the light reaction. In the light reaction. So thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to this particular channel. From here we'll be going to what? Going to the dark reaction. This is just what? The light reaction in the plant nutrition. The ability of a plant to produce their own food is what? Is plant nutrition. But these plants doesn't produce their own food unless they make use of what? Photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis occur in the presence of three things: the CO2, the H2O, and the what? And the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll will be the one to what? To attract the sunlight, while the sunlight will be the one to what? To break down the what? The water. Breaking down the water now comes to this: the hydrogen and the hydrogen ion. The hydrogen ion is now what's going to be this, which is what? Which is the reduction. And this reduction is now giving us 2H2O plus what? H2O. This now reacts with this to give us this, and this the what? The H, the left hydrogen ion now react to the what? Will now react to the coenzymes to give us the what? The ATP we are finding in the what? In the plants, in the photosynthesis. Thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe to this particular channel and like it. Thank you very much.